What is up, YouTube? What is up, Giants fans? It is your boy J Dimes, and we are back at it with another New York Giants video. Back at it with a very, very great New York Giants banger. And in this video, we are going to be having the final dress rehearsal. You know, it's in the final call, the last call, my final New York Giants mock draft, who I think the Giants will go with in the next 2 days. On Thursday, I'm excited. I'm ecstatic to see where they go, and I feel like the Giants have a chance to grab some very impactful players in this year's draft. You have the 2 first-round draft picks in the first round, the top 10. You have the 2 third-round draft picks. So the Giants have a chance to grab some very great prospects, some very great talents. And to start it off, with the 5th overall pick, I had the New York Giants selecting offensive tackle Evan Neal out of Alabama. I don't have to really speak on how much I want Evan Neal to be a New York Giant. And I think every single day, the more I'm hearing things, the more reports I see, could they be smoke? Damn right they could be smoke. But I really do feel like how the draft board falls in the top 5, that Evan Neal will be there for the New York Giants. Jordan Rana came out and reported that the preferred players for the New York Giants is Sauce Gardner and Evan Neal. I think Sauce Gardner is going to be a Jet. I think Ike McWilliams is going to be the first tackle off the board. I feel like Evan Neal is definitely a possible pick for them at 5th overall. And I feel like the Giants would not pass up on him. I feel like they sling the card in day one. Fills in at right tackle, has experience at right tackle. 6'7", 330 pounds, an absolute stalwart. You don't have to worry about this guy getting pushed back. The anchor is there. He is a dominant run blocker. You know, he's a good pass blocker. And I feel like he's a guy that offers both. When the run blocking and the pass line comes together, I feel like he offers both of those at a very high level over Ike McWilliams, over Charles Cross. So with the 5th overall pick, I had the New York Giants selecting the dominant stalwart Evan Neal out of Alabama. And with the 7th overall pick, I had the New York Giants selecting Kayvon Thibodeaux, edge out of Oregon. I feel like Kayvon Thibodeaux is a guy you can't pass up on twice. You can't. The teams ahead of us, they're going to be passing up on KT once. But the Giants is a team that possibly could pass up on him twice, and I just don't see the Giants do that. I do not think the Giants would do that on draft night. I understand that, you know, the cornerback situation with James Bradberry. As of right now, as of this recording, James Bradberry is still a Giant, and I feel like the Giants will, you know, look to see whatever they can get for him. I end up thinking that they do not get that value that they think they can get for him. I feel like they can use James Bradberry as a trade-up piece in the back end of the first round. But I think Kayvon Thibodeaux is a prospect you can't pass up on. I don't know what's the hate on him about. I don't know if it's the personality is what everyone says, but I think Kayvon Thibodeaux is a guy you just can't pass up on at 7. He's a guy that is possibly going to be a top 2 pick. He can easily go to the Lions with a 2nd overall pick. And if you're able to get a guy like that at 7th, that is extraordinary value at a position that you really do need. Get yourself your Batman. You have your Robin with Azeez Ojulari, who showed in his rookie year that he could be that second edge rusher on your defense. Kayvon Thibodeaux can be that number 1 guy. He has that potential to be the number 1 guy. High ceiling, high floor also, and I like him over a guy like Trayvon Walker. I feel like there's other prospects in play here, but I feel like Kayvon Thibodeaux is a guy that Giants don't pass upon twice. A report came out from Dan Duggan that they had multiple meetings about Kayvon Thibodeaux, and I feel like that's just them saying that if he's there at 7, do we take him? I feel like that's what that meeting is about. I feel like those are what those meetings are about. They are doing their due diligence on Kayvon Thibodeaux. I feel like Kayvon Thibodeaux, if he is there at 7th overall, he will be a New York Giant, and I feel like the Giants are sitting pretty after these 2 stud picks in the top 10 of the first round of the 2022 NFL Draft. With the 36th overall pick in the 2nd round, I had the New York Giants selecting Jalen Pitre, cornerback / safety out of Baylor, and I put emphasis on, you know, / because he can do it all. He can fill in that strong safety role, and in some packages, he can also fill in that slot cornerback role. And I feel like he is so versatile that the Giants would, you know, highly have them on their board in the 2nd round. I feel like he would, well, Wink Martindale in general would love to have a guy like this. I feel like he's a thumper. When he has his eyes on a certain where the ball is, he's going to come there. He's going to go there, pause. He's going to go there. He is going to try to make that play. And when he has the ball in his hand, when he makes that, you know, that interception, he's looking to take it back. I think he had about 2-3 pick sixes over his career at Baylor. And personality, football character, he has that. He has the character. You don't have to worry about this guy being a locker room, you know, cancer. You don't have to worry about that. And if that's something that the Giants are also taking into play, which they are, Jalen Pitre is a guy that fits that. He fits the culture and he fits his scheme with how versatile he is. I feel like Wink Martindale would love to have him on this New York Giants defense. So with the 36th overall pick in the second round, I have the New York Giants selecting Jalen Pitre, cornerback and safety out of Baylor. With the 67th overall pick in the third round, I have the New York Giants selecting John Metchie, wide receiver out of Alabama. The Giants dive back into that Alabama roots, picking up their second Crimson Tide in this year's draft. I feel like John Metchie is, he's going to be a guy that day one, he doesn't have to start. He does not have to be a starter day one, come off that ACL tear, which is probably why he would fall to the third round. But whoever picks him up in the third round, if that's where he goes, it's a steal. It's a steal. Go look up this tape. Go look up some of the stats, rather. He was productive last year at Alabama. He was always the third leading guy behind Jalen Waddle, behind Devontae Smith, who was a Heisman Trophy winner. Both of those guys, first round draft picks in the NFL. He was playing behind those guys, and he actually had that chance to be one of the main guys with Jameson Williams, who's another guy that might go highly in the first round. He was very productive, off the route, off the breaks. He has the crisp angles. His route running is stellar. It's stellar. He attacks the press. And he defeats it. So if he was going up against, Sauce Gardner, he's going to attack Sauce Gardner's press move. He's going to attack it. And I feel like he's a guy that has the experience of running the whole route tree at Alabama. They're going to teach their receivers to know how to run every single route. And that is something that John Metchie brings to the offense. Is he a slot guy? Yeah, he's a slot guy. But I feel like in the slot, he's dynamic. But with Shepard, future being on the line, not on the line, but his future is, it's kind of murky. Coming off that ACL, the Achilles injury, I feel like he can be the Sterling Shepard replacement. Kenny Golladay, future, up in the air. We're shopping Darius Slayton. That is a real report. We are actually shopping Darius Slayton. So the Giants are going to take a wide receiver rather early in the draft, right? It could be second. It could be second. Definitely could be second, depending on what they do in the first round. But in the third round, with their 67th overall pick, I have the Giants selecting John Metchie, wide receiver out of Bama. And with the 81st overall pick in the third round, I have the New York Giants selecting James Cook, running back out of Georgia. Now, we know the Giants love James Cook. We've seen the reports. They had him in the facility on a a 30 prospect visit. The Giants love James Cook, the younger brother of Vikings running back Dalvin Cook. A little fun fact there if you didn't know. Speed, blazing speed. I think he's a guy that day one, he doesn't, he's not going to be the bell cow guy, which is why some people kind of compare him to Alvin Kamara, how in the running game, he's, dynamic, but in the receiving game is where he really is valuable with his speed. He can run some of those routes. I feel like he's a very dynamic player, and I feel like he adds another element to the Giants offense. And I also feel like he might just be the Saquon Barkley replacement. I really do think he might just be the replacement. The Giants are probably looking for the replacement in this draft. And I feel like James Cook might be the guy to look for. We know that the Giants love James Cook. And if you look at his tape, I like him too. Bring some speed to the offense. With Matt Breida here, Saquon here is not going to really burn you. But with Matt Breida and James Cook, those are guys that bring some speed elements to the offense. So I think Brian Dable will have his name written all over this pick here, where the Giants go with James Cook with their 81st overall pick in the third round. James Cook out of Georgia. Pick in the fourth round, I have the New York Giants selecting Jelani Woods, tight end out of Virginia. Now, I was strolling on Twitter, and I follow Justin Pinnock, one of the hosts of the Talking Giants podcast, and he posted a little clip of Jelani Woods toppling over somebody. I literally just ran him over, and he's 6'6". I feel like he's like 230. He has great size at the tight end position, and if you put in some small little linebacker on him, he's gonna make him pay. And at this position, I was thinking about linebacker, but I say hell nah. Let's go get a tight end in the fourth. Do we need to take one in the third or the second? No, I mocked that a couple of mocks back, and I regretted it because there are actually some gem tight ends in this draft, not just Jelani Woods. They have other guys, but I feel like Jelani Woods, with his size of being actually 6'7", 260 pounds almost, he's a no-brainer pick here. I feel like he's a guy that fills in a need, doesn't have to be a starter day one, but he has some traits that if you use him correctly, he can be a dynamic part of your offense. So with the 112th overall pick of the 4th round, the New York Giants selecting Jelani Woods, tight end out of Virginia. 47th overall pick in the 5th round, the New York Giants selecting Brandon Smith, linebacker out of Penn State. Now, in the 4th, 5th rounds, you're not looking for day one starters. You're not looking for that. And I feel like Brandon Smith is a guy that has some traits, again, that you can use, you know, one day as you develop him as an NFL linebacker. Ran 4.5 at the combine, on the 40-yard dash. Had a 36.5-inch vert, and he has some decent size, so you can also use him as a pass rusher. And in some instances, the Penn State Lions used him as, you know, someone to guard the slot sometimes. So he has the range for a good linebacker, can cover the slot when you ask him. So I think the Giants would be good here. You know, you don't take a linebacker that early with the Leo Chenals, the Chad Mumas, the Brian Asamoahs. The Giants don't take those guys, but they do end up finding a decent quality linebacker in the 5th round, which I think you can't be mad at. You're not looking at starting day one guys in the 5th round, but I feel like Brandon Smith is a guy you can develop with your 5th overall pick at the Giants. Not the 5th overall pick, but the 5th round pick, rather. I got him taking Brandon Smith, linebacker out of Penn State. Killed 2 birds with 1 stone here, because in the 5th round, at the New York Giants selecting Alec Lindstrom with their 173rd overall pick, is a guy that just offers more valuable depth on your offense. You did go out and you signed John Feliciano from the Buffalo Bills. You don't really have that backup center right now, and I feel like Alec Lindstrom doesn't have to be the starter guy. He's not ready to start yet, but I feel like he offers some very good depth on your offensive line. He's a smart player, a very smart player, knows how to identify the fronts and makes the calls that need to be needed. So I feel like that's very valuable to have a guy out like Daniel Jones, who is he the best at that? Not really, but Alec Lindstrom offers that. And with our 6th round pick, 1/2 overall, at the Giants selecting Chris Paul, Tulsa offensive tackle. Again, you're not looking for starters around this time. You're not looking for starters. He's just a guy that, again, fills in some valuable depth. He's a guy that fights for a roster spot in training camp. Finishes his blocks. You know, he plays through the whistle, which is always something you love to see with the offensive lineman. Has great character, leadership qualities. He has all of that. So he's a guy that fits the culture that the New York Giants are trying to start here. So that's really going to do it, though. Leave down below your grades for this final mock draft for the New York Football Giants. I'm excited to see where they go. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be wrong about some of these picks. Probably the Kayvon Thibodeaux pick. I think I might be wrong on that one, but if I'm not, you're going to see your boy smiling from ear to ear on draft night with my draft reaction videos. It's going to be fun. 2 days away, basically 1 day away. It's this day is almost over, so sleep peacefully, guys, because we got a long Thursday ahead of us. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, hit the subscribe button, and until this, boy J Dimes, I am out. Peace.